Tottenham capitulate again after a controversial 2-1 lead. They draw the game. They went to 2-2, and lose the game 3-2 in the space of 10 minutes. The top four race is smashed wide open again. Man United slightly let off the hook. Huge advantage to West Ham United. And Arsenal have it all to play for tomorrow night. They can go back above their old enemy, the Lily Whites of North London. It's Spursy again!
Oh, absolutely magnificent!
Tottenham Hotspur, Spursy ever, forever, forever. Forever now, forevermore. Always, always, always Spursy. And look, we've seen a massive improvement in the Premier League under Antonio Conte, but tonight, when it mattered, Man United dropped points. You can put pressure upon Arsenal. Of course, you have to keep up with West Ham that keep on winning. Tottenham couldn't get the job done. They couldn't get it over the line. And they went they were poor, by the way, Tottenham. They were absolutely battered from pillar to post in the first half. This, have it no other which way. Battered from pillar to post, should have been losing. Some good saves, some bad finishing, and the crossbar saved them. They came out in the second half, and it was fairly even Stevens. It was fairly even, really, for a while. And then, out of nowhere, they score. Spurs kind of scored, and you think, okay. But there was a very controversial moment. A very, very controversial moment in the lead-up to that goal. A headed challenge from Emerson Royale, a forearm smash in the back of the head. As soon as you see the replay, you think, well, that's exactly what VAR was invented for. VAR was invented to stop decisions like this from happening. VAR was invented to stop goals like this from standing. It was a clear head injury. It was a clear foul. No way can you go through the back of an opponent with your arm like that and get away with it. Not now, not ever. Like, it's never, ever existed in the history of football. And it was given. And you sit there as a football fan and think, come on, there's got to be a bit of justice. And I kind of tweeted in jest that maybe Tottenham should just walk the ball into the back of the net. Kind of square themselves off with the footballing gods. To say, do you know what? We should never have been given that goal. It should never have stood. Let's even the playing field again, and let's go again. They didn't need to, though. Southampton stepped it up, and as soon as that intensity increased, they were absolutely nowhere, Tottenham. Nowhere. They were absolutely battered for the next 10 minutes. They conceded 2 goals, and they threw it away. They absolutely threw it away. The lack of composure after scoring from the manager and the players, I think, led to it. The way there was almost no empathy with what had happened. Now, listen, everybody gets good decisions. Everybody gets bad decisions. But the way Spurs behaved, you could almost see this sort of like, leave us alone. We need this. And it kind of got into their heads and they weren't able to recover. And look, I know Spurs fans don't like it, but it was Spursy. I know Spurs fans don't like it. But no bottle after that moment, no resolve. And I know what some people will say to me, Terry, but what about your team? Your team has not shown any bottle recently. Yeah, I know. That has got nothing to do with the fact that Tottenham threw away a golden opportunity to capitalize on Man United's mistake last night, keep up with West Ham who keep winning, and to put massive pressure upon Arsenal. They now stay behind Arsenal. Arsenal win. Yes, I have a game in hand, but there's then 3 points. They should have won from the position that they were in. They should have been 3 points clear of Arsenal with a game in hand after Arsenal play tomorrow. Still giving themselves that insurance policy. They've opened the door to Arsenal again. Simplistically, Man United, yes, they've got 2 games in hand still, but they've kind of let them off the hook a little bit. But remember, there's only 3 points gap now between the 2 of them. West Ham are the overall winners, even though there's still a 3-game margin. They've got 3 games in hand over them. A bad night for Tottenham in the office. Of course, the top 4 race isn't over. It's the only exciting thing in the Premier League right now, if we're being absolutely honest with you. But there we go. It's over, and it's over for tonight. Let's have a look at some of these super chats here. Bottleham FC is worse than 30 years FC, in my opinion, is what's been said there. Always when it matters, Tottenham bottle it again. Southampton absolutely deserve the win. I am so sick of this team crumbling when it matters. Sick of the same players panicking, and Royale is a peasant, is what Jerome is a long-standing Spurs fan and viewer of the Football Terrace. He is not happy tonight. Emerson is Tottenham's equivalent of Harry Maguire, is what's been said there by Gulad. I think that's how that's pronounced. I think. Is that a picture of Captain Birdseye as his avatar? Maybe. But yeah, listen, it's crazy. A lot of people are talking about the Leeds Villa game. I'm sure that's where a number of people are still watching that game. Is it still going on? I know it's 3-3. That's coming to an end very, very soon. But of course, we cover the top 6 on the Football Terrace, the original top 6 channel. So that's why we go live straight after that game. Got to speak to these Spurs fans. I don't know where you are tonight. You got to come have your say, because I need to know what's going through your heads. And do you know the maddest bit, which makes it the biggest Spursy thing of all tonight? The biggest Spursy thing at all is the goal shouldn't have even been a goal, and you still couldn't hang on. That would irk me more than anything else in relation to this. It really, really would irk me, wind me up, bother me. We're going to be getting Ryan on soon. Mo's backstage. Alan's backstage as well. Make sure you're smashing like buttons for us. And I'm telling you now, the only excuse I'm not going to have watched tonight is, yeah, but what about your team? That is not a response. That is not a rebuttal, because we're here talking Tottenham tonight. Man United's or Arsenal's or Bolton's misfortunes, whoever you think somebody supports, is irrelevant to we're talking Tottenham tonight. Let's keep it on point. Terry, get the... I don't know where Alex is. Alex has got the link. I doubt he'll come on, mate. He's probably at the game, to be fair, so I doubt he will be here. I'd love to know what he thinks and feels. E-Boss says, undeserved to be winning and still bottled it. Terry, if Alex comes on, please, mate, ask him to let him finish. Being a Spurs fan is hard. I feel sorry for them, is what Lawless has got to say here. Stacey says City win. Yeah, we saw they won tonight. Inevitable, really. Good victory for them, though. The Brojan goal was given, but Pogba's foul was disallowed. The inconsistencies from VAR and the refs is god-awful. At some point, refs should be held accountable. And look, of course, as a Man United fan, we didn't deserve to win yesterday. We didn't. However, in terms of isolated decisions, as soon as I saw that, I got imagine Pogba's being deemed a foul and not a forearm smash. I'm really petty as well, right? And I'm glad Southampton didn't do this, because they wouldn't have won. But I'm of the mindset where I just felt like if I was a Southampton player, they should have just gone into every challenge with the elbow out like that and gone, well, you've let Emerson Royal get away. Even if you get 3 or 4 red cards, just the principle of it, just go around cracking heads going, well, hang on, Emerson Royal, and you'd get away with it in an appeal. You'd show Emerson Royal's challenge and then your challenge and say, what's the difference? That's the problem with those kind of decisions. And VAR's done a lot of good things for football, but they've gone back to this mold of protecting referees. If the referees or the linesmen or referees' assistants don't give it, they don't like to overturn it. And I know in every Spurs fan's heart of hearts, they've seen that and gone, how lucky were we? Nobody wants goals like that anymore because VAR exists. It's one of those things where just give the right decision. 22 shots from Southampton. Yeah, absolutely. They were excellent tonight and they thoroughly deserve to be the winners. There's no doubt. Wolves only EBL team winning all their games in 2022. Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Do you know what's mad, right? I'm backing Arsenal to win tomorrow night. But if Arsenal were to lose or drop points, what a lucky, lucky week for Man United it could be. I know West Ham have won, right? But Man United have got a game in hand over them. There's 1 point in it. But if Arsenal and Spurs drop points, I know that Wolves will then be a few points behind them if Wolves were to win. But Spurs and Arsenal are still, in my opinion, Man United's 2 biggest rivals for this 4th and final top 4 position. I tell you who else has been let off the hook a little bit, even though they're a little clear, like Chelsea. Like the idea was with these games in hand for the likes of Chelsea and the Arsenal to try and catch them and put a bit of pressure on them. That hasn't happened now either. Well, Arsenal still got to play. Let's see what Arsenal do. But there we go. Cedric here says, Terry, to be fair, Villa and Spurs have won more league titles than Spurs. No, I understand they have, but they're not part of the top six, as it were. The top six is the six most financially biggest teams, Champions League recent. We all know what it means. Everyone challenges it, but we know what the top six means. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Tottenham will always be Spursy, is what YUFC has got to say tonight. I'm going to bring out some of the callers now that come on and have their say. I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know what they're feeling. Make sure like buttons are being smashed, my wonderful, brilliant people. Let's do this. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I want to start with Alan. Disappointing night for yourselves, mate. To throw that away in the way in which you did. Explain it to me, Al. Explain it to me. And the performance overall, to be fair.
The performance was shocking. Conte got it wrong. I said when we bring in the players you want, he has to have that midfield three. I've said that midfield three for so long. And literally, Southampton were, on our 18-yard box, just passing it around, controlling the game for long periods of that first half. He didn't make any changes. Then basically, we play a little bit better. And then it looks like, for me, Moura has to come off of Bentancur to still get control of that at the middle of the pitch. Didn't happen. We were fortunate to go ahead. I same as that. I was like, oh, that's a foul. That's going to be ruled out for a foul. And somehow it happened. Like they gave us the goal. And then 2 times in 3 minutes, the same ball in between Sanchez and Royal, costing us the 3 points. Can't wait. I can't believe I'm actually saying this on here that I can't wait for Eric Dyer to get in that back line and get Sanchez out. I can't. There we go. I've cracked. I've literally cracked. So yeah, I can't wait for Eric Dyer to get Sanchez out because Royal needs babysitting. He's absolutely awful. Looks like a deer in headlights going forward. Looks like a statue at the back. It was just a poor game from us. The 15, 20 minutes we had better in the second half. When you're challenging for the top 4, you're pushing for top 4, you need to be putting teams like this to bed. But the way we set up just enabled Southampton just to control the game in the first half. They should have been 3 or 4 ahead. That's how good they played. That's how bad we were. I don't know what happened after the fact with what was going on the touchline. I don't know what was said, but I'm not going to read too much into that because that's what riled, I think, Conte up. But it should have been a free kick. We got the goal, and then literally you're thinking, okay, maybe it's going to, one of them games where you just get over it, get through it. And then it weren't meant to be. Like I said, 2 simple balls in. And when you've got problem areas still like that, you're always going to get caught. But you have to have, the right players. Kulusevski, I don't think he's ready for the Premier League just yet. He needs to, be a bit part player. Bentancur, I think, played great when he came on. But you take Højbjerg off and put Bentancur in his first Premier League game in the 2, and that second person is Harry Winks. It needs to be Højbjerg, Bentancur, and Winks until Skip comes back in. Because Winks, for me, has only one mode of passing the ball, and that's put your foot through it, or then apart from that, get scared. It's just, there's certain areas that still needs to be think. But Conte, for me, has to wise up and realise this 3-4-3 isn't going to work. Because against teams, against the best team, Southampton outplayed us tonight because they controlled the middle of the park because we were weak in the middle. And it's going to continue like that. He needs to start having the 3-5-2 and have three in the middle. Otherwise, we're going to get outplayed by better teams.
I hear on that. How about yourself, Ryan? What was your take on it, brother?
I'm so frustrated with that game. You gotta say fair play to Southampton. They battered us. They deserve the win massively. We can't complain. They were so much better than we were tonight. Sanchez and Royal, I don't know what in the right mind makes those two. I mean, I'm 100% sure Emerson is not Brazilian. That bloke cannot be Brazilian. He is not Brazilian at all. I don't understand how he still starts, but we've only got Matt Doherty to come in. I mean, you think about top 4, Terry, and all that. If Wolves actually beat Arsenal tomorrow night, they go above both of us, and they go 3 points behind West Ham. So that's another team that we've then got to overcome as well. But I mean, Højbjerg, I think that's probably the worst game I've seen Højbjerg in a Tottenham shirt. He's had plenty. Don't shake your head, Alan. Do not shake your head, Alan. That is his worst game for me by far in a Spurs. Bentancur changed the game, but I mean, I know Ward-Prowse's his delivery is quality. Ward-Prowse, he's a brilliant centre midfielder, but to allow two in 4 minutes? Was it 4 or 5 minutes? Both goals, same delivery, same area of your own box,
same defenders.
Yeah, same two defenders. I think during the game, I think Lloris probably pulled off about 3 or 4 quality saves to actually keep us in the game. Tonight was an absolute diabolical performance. And if you want top 4, if you want Champions League, you have to beat Southampton at home. Whether they're a good team, bad team, it doesn't matter. You have to beat these teams at home. And at the minute, we're literally letting Man U off the hook after their draw last night. We're giving both Arsenal and Wolves a chance to creep up on top 4. We're giving West Ham a bit more of a gap than they need to have. So at the minute, it's not looking promising for us now.
Yeah, listen, I hear you both on that. I think, look, everyone knows I rate Antonio Conte. I think he's a very good manager. I think he is, he's very, very talented. It's 2 defeats on the bounce now. And being outplayed, I think you played better against Chelsea than you did tonight. Like, considering you were at Stamford Bridge and this time you were at home, Southampton and Chelsea are not comparable in terms of overall quality. It was a poor performance, and it just applies a little bit more pressure. And I think the most frustrating bit for me, if I was a Spurs fan, is like you've just said, and you play Wolves next as well, don't you? So it's almost like Wolves play Arsenal and Spurs back to back. And with their record this season of barely conceding, they're going to be hard to beat. They would have managed to beat both of you back to back. Suddenly, Arsenal and Spurs are going to find themselves in 7th and 8th respectively. And listen, I ain't throwing any salt here because my football club's not exactly we're in a great position, but I am happy with it because from the point of view of I feel a little bit let off. In fact, I mean, if Arsenal lose tomorrow night, I know that West Ham won, but it's almost like we've gained a point on you two when we shouldn't have done. This is where, I don't think anyone's clear in this top 4 race because at the end of the day, none of us are actually capable of winning 4 games on the bounce. None of us. No. And that's what you need to get clear, and it ain't going to happen.
Very quickly, I completely forgot to criticise Ben Davies for that slip in for the first goal, and then Royal when he lets it run across him straight into the Southampton player for them to then get the... Royal needs to go. I'm sorry. Get him out of this club. I will take Mac Doherty. And that's me saying another thing. Me saying I'll take Mac Doherty as the right wing back because, my God, literally, I can't believe the amount of problems we've had at the back tonight when we've looked quite steady at the back. It's just embarrassing. What an embarrassing performance.
I hear you. We're going to bring some more Spurs fans in a minute, but I want to get Mo's perspective as a neutral watching this tonight. Like, what's your take, mate?
First of all, justice is served after this game because it should not have been a goal, to be honest, as everybody saw on Twitter. And this is justice for Southampton, who I thought deserved the 3 points from the first minute to the last minute. Second thing is watching Antonio Conte all these years, I thought today and over the last couple of games, he has been accommodating the players that they should play. That's accommodating them, not paying attention to that actual plan that he should have been playing. I'm following up on what Alan said about the 3 in the middle. It looked today that he wanted to play Lucas Moura, Son, and Kane, and he accommodated everything around playing 3 up top, and that what gave Southampton full control of the game tactically in every single position. And instead of him sacrificing one of the forwards for the sake of the actual plan that we all know Antonio Conte plays 3 in the middle to control the midfield defensively and offensively, but he didn't do that. And that let a lot of gaps being open in the heart of the Spurs midfield and actually exposed the defenders for how bad they are actually. Because you can play compact, yes, with 3 in the middle, and it will patch Emerson Royal, Sanchez, Davis, and everybody. But to leave them open like this, knowing that they're not good enough to defend against a Southampton player, is absolutely shocking from someone like Antonio Conte today. And this is something I don't know how to address it. Having someone like Lucas Moura, Son, and Kane, as good as they are, you need to play the 3 of them. but it doesn't work with 3-4-3. This is why I thought in the second half he would have brought one midfielder to just control the midfield, but instead he brought one midfielder for another midfielder, and the problem continued as is. Second thing is, everybody, Spurs fans, they don't see Harry Winks as I don't rate Harry Winks at all. I still think that Højbjerg should have stayed for the physicality in the midfield. Southampton player won every single challenge. Apart from that challenge that was supposed to be a foul, every second challenge was won by the Southampton players. Having Harry Winks in the middle of the park is not giving anybody an opportunity to win these challenges. Højbjerg is a stronger guy. Maybe he missed passes here and there, but he takes risks in challenges and going forward, and that showed in the opener for Tottenham. He is the one who made the run inside the box to cross that ball for Bednarek to put it as an own goal. Harry Winks would never do that, and I have not seen Harry Winks doing this. And this is something I don't understand. Why Spurs fans want Harry Winks and want Højbjerg out? I don't get it. But this Tottenham team is not good enough to win any games at all against any top side that hold the ball like Southampton, Brighton, Wolves, and these teams are going to give them a lot of trouble. If the team comes and sits back against Spurs, they might win 1-0, 2-1. But someone like Hassan Hutel, Graham Potter, and every coach that likes to have the ball, they're going to give this Spurs team a lot of troubles in every single minute.
Interesting take there. We're going to get some more callers on now. Leaf is with us. Leaf is a Tottenham fan. What are you saying, Leaf?
Yeah, that was very bad performance. I think, Mo, you're correct that the midfield was completely overrun. However, if you sacrifice an attacker, then you expect more from the wingbacks. And Conte has a big problem that the wingbacks are so poor attackingly, and in Emerson's case defensively, that you're basically not scoring any goals. Lucas won't score that goal. We would have never scored if he played like that. It's very risky, and I think it's the fact that he trusted Emerson and Sanchez because they have been playing good the last few games, and they just completely let him down. And at the end, it's down to them. It's down to Emerson and Sanchez, especially Emerson. Oh my God, he's so bad. He's so bad.
Well, Southampton have worked out our problem here because most of the attacks came down that right side with Royal and Sanchez in the first half, and also when the balls came in on the other side, it was whipped into that back post between the two. So they identified a weakness and they caused us all sorts of problems.
What is a more important area in the summer to address? Is it the midfield or is it that right back position?
It's definitely that right wing back because you need a right wing back that can defend and attack. Royal can't do either. Let's be honest. In the FA, people were, giving him credit in the FA Cup, but the goal that came as a deflection, that basically he put his head down, got to the bar across, and he crossed to no one. He was crossing to no one because he didn't even look up. It was a fluke, and people giving him credit. He's absolutely awful. We need that right wing back sorted, and we need definitely another defender and another midfielder. Because for me, Bentancur is going to be the future of our midfield. Winks is not good enough. Skip will be in there, and I think we need one more because I think Højbjerg's falling flat this season. I don't think he's at the level he showed last season. So we need still quite a few signings, but I thought with what we had in and Conte going to a 3-5-2 would be enough to take us to top four, and we're going to do a performance like that first game back in the league since. So
I think what's interesting with Tottenham though, it's again, and it's early days in saying this, but you're looking great in the league under Conte until you get into a position where if you win the next couple of games, you're the leader of the pack. It's almost as soon, and maybe I'd say I'm reading too much into it, as soon as there's an opportunity to capitalize, the Spursy nature, the Spurs mentality comes out, the April go, and it's almost, because up until the last two league matches, you have looked fairly, even when we were in the same room when you came back against Leicester.
Yeah.
You didn't deserve to be losing. That was like, you didn't deserve to be losing. You played really well. You should have been leading the game, right? So the result wasn't a shock. It was just the fact you scored 2 goals in the last 30 seconds of the game. But it's almost like as soon as it's like, well, now beat Chelsea, win this game midweek, and you find yourselves in front of Arsenal with a game in hand, in front of Man United with 2 or 3 games in hand, and you'd be a point or so behind West Ham with 3 games in hand. It's almost like you don't want that initiative. It's almost like that scares you a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know why. Even Conte can't stop us from being Spursy. It's just we're a curse as a football club. We are so cursed. I don't know why. I don't know what we did.
Well, to be honest,
we are so cursed.
To be honest, the players that were Spursy are not they were not here for a long time. Like Emerson, Sanchez been here for a few years, but Emerson doesn't care. That's the thing. When you look at him and the way he plays, he doesn't care if he makes a mistake or if Spurs miss out on top 4. He doesn't care.
I just don't think he's not good. I just don't think he's good enough to care. I don't think he don't
Alan,
care. He's
yes.
just not good enough. You know, I don't even think he understands what's going on half the time. Now he just looks like a headless chicken. He looks like he's confused. I just think he's just not good enough. I don't think he's just not good enough. And I think we just need to get rid of him.
Alan. You can see the difference when Reguilon, on that attack in the first half, the position of Reguilon, every time you went from the right side, Reguilon was always there on the left in that space. But every time the ball was in the middle of the park, Emerson Royal, everybody just asking him and telling him where to go, as he did in practice with these guys. He was not on the training ground. He doesn't know what the coach is saying outside, which is very, very strange for a club like Spurs to have a player that has no idea what the plan is on the field for 90 minutes, defensively or offensively. Even Sanchez was explaining to him in the goal that Elianusi scored. You should have been here, bro. You should have been tucking in inside. It's very strange that you have been training with these guys for over 5 months with the same coach for 3 months now, and you don't know where to be offensively or defensively. It's kind of weird. Questions need to be asked why Doherty was not playing.
I don't think when a player is consistently being caught out of position, I don't think it's about not knowing where you're meant to be. To be continually in the right position, there's 2 words: hard work. It's like you'll be out of position because you've had to run to get a ball or you've chased somebody, and now the ball might get switched to the opposite side. So you might close somebody down, which is the right thing to do. You're now out of position. The ball gets switched by your opponents. You now need to sprint back to get back into position, or you might need to go over a runner to remain in position. That's hard work. And some players just don't want to put the yards in. That's why they're caught out of position. It's about hard work. It's about wanting, it's about putting the hard work in the hard yards in the right areas. And when I see players like that, I just think to myself, you don't really care enough.
Exactly.
To be honest. Jerome's coming on now. Jerome's another Spurs fan here to have his say. What are you saying, buddy?
Hey, Terry, how's it going? I'm pissed off. That team, once again, once it matters, always crumbling. The same freaking players, and I'm blame the freaking recruitment. I'm glad Conte has said our recruitment is so bad. We've made mistake in the past, but we cannot repeat. Emerson Royal is a freaking peasant. He's not a football player. He's not Brazilian. I don't know what the hell he is, but I don't know how the hell we paid £30 million for this shit. It's absolutely ridiculous. That third goal, how on earth can you lose your player like this? This is absolutely ridiculous. One simple header and he completely missed it. That team will kill me, seriously. Every time when it matters, they fucked it up every single time. Top 4 was top 4? Bullshit. We're not getting anything. We're giving chance to every freaking team. Wolves is going to come behind us now. Arsenal, Manchester United, everybody's going to come in front of us and we can't do anything about it. This is absolutely ridiculous. 2 goals in 4 minutes. And the same way, Sanchez and Royal are absolutely ridiculous as defenders. And to be thinking we are waiting for Eric Dyer. Oh my God. I can't believe this. Like, how on earth are we saying? I'm not hearing this. Eric Dyer is prone for mistake every single time. I am sick of Eric Dyer. I am sick of Sanchez, and I want better defenders than them.
But
because
Dyer
those
is better.
We know. I don't want to hear this because Eric Dyer and Sanchez has always cost us game. And I'm not hearing about we're waiting for Eric Dyer to come back. This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe this.
Who's better?
Wait,
hold on. Who's better, Dyer or Sanchez? Who's
Yeah,
better, Dyer or
exactly.
Sanchez? Dyer. So it's an improvement.
Dyer is better than Sanchez, but he's prone for mistakes.
Well, I'm aware of that.
The last time I said,
Sanchez.
you know what? In the back three, Davies is actually better. Oh my God, what did I say? And suddenly he just went back to his old self. Oh, Jesus. It's the same 3 players we had in the pot that was always costing us. And now we are saying Eric Dyer is the next Virgil van Dijk. Come on, seriously?
No,
Eric
Dyer. Hold on.
Eric
We
Dyer
all know
was-
how he is.
About
Hold on,
Davis.
don't
About
be so
Davis.
dramatic.
Alan.
Don't be so dramatic. No one said he's the next Virgil van Dijk.
Yes.
He's the better option as what we've got at the moment because Sanchez, when you've got Sanchez and Royal in together, there's no communication. There's wide open gaps and they have people had to walk in. Dyer, Romero and Davies is better than Sanchez, Romero and Davies. It's as simple as that. No one's saying he's the next
Why don't we
Virgil van
give a
Dijk.
chance to Rodon? Why don't we
Huh?
give a chance to Rodon?
Rodon's done
Why
nothing
not give a
since
chance to
we've met.
Rodon?
Because the chances we've given him, he's done nothing.
Because we haven't given him any chances.
The chances,
I'm pretty sure
he's done
Rodon
nothing.
would do a better job than freaking Sanchez.
Nah.
He would. He would do a better job than Sanchez.
I agree.
Because
I
seriously,
think he
this is
would have
not
marked
good.
that player. Rodon would have marked that player.
He would have marked the
done
player.
something.
He would have get both headers. He would have got it. He would be there. I'm
Rodon-
sorry, but
Hold
no,
on,
that's
hold
not
on,
good.
hold on. You're going on emotion here. Rodon in the games that he has played and all that, like Liverpool when in the first game when we lost 1-0. No, actually, when we got beat 3-0 by them, he basically let the ball run twice and we got caught out. Also against Palace this season, although even before Tanganga got sent off, Rodon was getting caught out of position time and time again. So it does happen, but because people are going on emotion because other players caused mistakes, you can't do that. Rodon is not at that level. Sanchez is the poor one out of the rest. Dyer is before he got injured, Dyer was our best defender, and I criticised Dyer. I wanted Derek Dyer gone, but he's the better option at the moment for our defence next to Romero. So that's what we have to have for the rest of the season, and then buy better defenders in the. Can we buy anyone before that? No. So we have to make do with what we've got, and Dyer is the best.
I know, but I feel sorry for Coutinho. He's the best one out of all those nonsense that we've got in the defense.
Yeah.
I just feel sorry for the guy. I don't know who on earth we're going to bring to.
Looking at it as a neutral, I think Romero's a good player, but this is just years of you guys didn't replace your players early enough. And again, I saw this at my club where we had one of the best defenses in the world, and they broke the record for most clean sheets. And we went through this situation where Vidic and Rio were allowed to go on too long without world-class replacements. We still, in my opinion, haven't replaced Patrice Evra. Like, he hasn't been replaced. And he left, again, getting towards a decade ago now. And Spurs are going down that situation as well. You had a point where your back line was solid. Yeah. You haven't replaced Walker, stroke Trippier. They were both very, very good. Danny Rose, in terms of when he was at his best, you haven't replaced him as of yet. Like, Reguilon's good, but I don't think he's at the level that Rose was at his peak. Yeah. And look, when you had Toby and
Alderweireld. Toby and
Toby and Vertonghen together, that was a brilliant partnership, and it just hasn't been replaced. And the thing is, you got used to your defense being that good. Yeah. The only way you were going to replace it and it be that good was by spending money, and you just didn't do it. And it's going to take Conte. It's going to take Conte time, because even with Eric Dyer, if I'm being blunt, you're still going to get mistakes because he isn't of the level. You can 4 or 5 games you can get away with it, but over time, cream rises to the crop and the shit falls to the bottom.
I'm aware Dyer's, not that, but at the moment, he's the best of what we've got outside of Romero because, like I said, Sanchez. So it's one of them things where we have to use Eric Dyer, and I want him to come back in because we looked more solid before he got injured and was out of the team. So, yeah, for me, it's got to be Eric Dyer in there alongside Romero because Sanchez is just awful, and putting him next to Romero.
Right? They bought Romero. Alan, you got Romero. That's a start to replace
the
defense.
Yeah,
I can't blame the scouting for the defense. To be honest, Sanchez was a great player for Ajax. They bought the guy. The problem is they were patient year. Now it's his fourth year with you or third year with you after that Europa League final when he played against Man United. And I thought he was really good at that season with Ajax, same as De Ligt the season after, but then it didn't work out for him. The problem is they were patient too much. Some clubs, it's the same as Manchester United. They are too patient with Harry Maguire. They keep waiting and waiting for the guy to become good, and he hasn't become good, and now he's costing them games. Same as Sanchez, they're waiting and waiting, and this is why they bought Romero. But they don't have, I don't think they were gonna go and spend 100 to 200 million on defenders because they already have 5 now. They need to get people out of the door first before they bring people in. You can't just have 8 defenders on the squad of 24 people. You need to get people out of the squad. So you need to sell Sanchez, get rid of Tanganga, if he's a future, he starts to play. But otherwise, you can't just bring in defenders. And this is something that needs to be resolved by selling players first.
Actually, he's somebody I'd give a go on the right wing as a right wing back, Tanganga, because he can't be any worse than what Royal is or what
Well, sometimes
Chelsea is.
well, you got him, and sometimes though, like you look at it and think, as bad as Real is, he's so bad that even an academy player is either going to be as bad or better. Sometimes I remember when Man United had Alexis Sanchez, and everyone's like, we had youngsters coming through, and I'm like, give a youngster a go. They're like, oh yeah, but what if he's worse? How can he be worse than 5 goals in 18 months? Like, he's going to be better, irrespective. Leaf, I appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. Really, really do. I'm going to throw some more callers in now. Top man, Arsenal fan here. Sam's in the house. What you saying, Sam?
Terry, what have you saying? I'm going to throw a little Stephen A. Smith in here. What can go wrong will go wrong with Tottenham Hotspur. And we've seen it again today. You know, what I'm going to say about this, you know, when Tottenham scored a second goal and Conte was giving it the big, I think that sparked Southampton on to win the game. Because after that, you know, we saw an immediate reaction from Southampton saying, you know what? Why the hell would he do this to us? We can win this game, you know, because previously Southampton had so many chances to put this game to bed. You know, in the first half, they scored 3 goals alone. They should have been 3-1 up within the first half. You know, in the first minute, Che Adams had a clear chance, I think, near goal, and he couldn't put it away. And then, you know, on and on. I think there was a period where they had 3 shots on goal in like half a minute, and I can't believe none of those went in. And then he had that Brochus chance that he was throwing goal and he couldn't convert it. So I mean, Tottenham today, like Alan said, Alan is the only one who's he's made sense. Tottenham were just poor today, and they didn't deserve to win the game.
Thank you, young Samuel.
Listen,
are you feeling confident now going into the game tomorrow night against Wolves? You've got a great opportunity to, you know, go in front of Man United or catch Man United and go in front of them because you've got better goal difference and eliminate that one game in hand.
What I've said, we've seen this many years series where this opportunity has arisen for Arsenal. There's a little bit of pressure and we crumble. This is the thing. I know you have to play in pressure situations in football sometimes, but we, under pressure in these situations, Arsenal are one of those teams that can't capitalize off it. And we've got Wolves, you know, they're, I think, one of the hardest teams to score a goal against. You know, they're solid defensively under Bruno Lage. You know, they're a great team. And, you know, it's going to be a struggle. It's a 50-50 game tomorrow.
It certainly is. It's going to be an interesting one tomorrow night. And when you come in and laughing, you better hope you win. Otherwise, Spurs.
Exactly.
Yep. That's what I'm here. That's what I'm waiting for. You better hope you win tomorrow after coming after all that laughing.
I'm collecting them receipts.
He's already gone. Next on the show, Mo's here with us. Mo's a Man United fan. What are you saying, mate?
Yeah, I'm not here to ban. I'm worried about Saturday because we played them on Saturday. I don't see us beating them, Terry. I think it's going to be a draw, or we might lose the game. I think they're going to be Southampton. We're going to be on a high, and United. Every single game, Terry, I think it's going to be difficult for us. I have no confidence in my team. I think if Man United want to change, sorry, I know this is a Spurs space, but I just want to get this off my chest.
No, it's a top 6 space, but yeah, I hear you. It makes sense.
If look, Terry, if Man United want to be serious, if this new CEO, Richard Arnold and Darren Fletcher, John Murtaugh and whatever, they want to be serious in the summer, I think we need to take a hit on Harry Maguire, Terry. He's not going to come good. Take a hit. If it's a £40 million hit, you take it, you move on, and you move him on. He's not going to get better, Terry. He's 28, 29. He's supposed to be our Virgil. He's our Virgil van Dijk. He's our fucking Virgil van Dijk. Yeah? He's supposed to be our Virgil van Dijk, and he's fucking costing us games after games, goals after goals, Terry. He is not a Man United defender that is going to win us a Champions League or a Premier League. If we continue with what he's been at the club for 3 years, he's not good enough. Move him on, Terry. Just move him on and start with a new era.
I hear you, and I think I hear you on the Maguire point. I think when it comes to Southampton, it's such an interesting one when you look at teams like Southampton. Another team that reminds me of Southampton is Brighton. Southampton have won only 5 games all season, including tonight. Brighton have won, I think, only 6 games all season. But with the way they play, it feels like they win. But both massive amount of draws, 10 and 12.
You know what, Terry? We should have got Toby. We should have got Toby when we had the chance back in.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Yeah, I mean, he'd be past it now.
He would have been better.
Yeah, but he'd be past it now himself anyway. I think when it comes to Southampton, to your point, though, Man United have got to be very, very careful. Because these are those games where you look at them and go, should win. And the thing is, when you're Tottenham tonight and when you're Man United, the one thing I'd say about Southampton is our team should be able to beat them. And I'll tell you why. Player for player, we're better, generally speaking. but they attack and open up. They leave space and opportunities. I get when you play your Burnleys as an example, you might be playing Everton, you might play Newcastle. These teams sit in, they're hard to break down. It makes the game frustrating. Southampton will open up against you, and loads of times tonight, Tottenham had the opportunities to counter-attack, but the amount of times you played the wrong ball, or I must have seen tonight about 100 times, you play the ball behind your fullbacks, or you play behind someone, and you got to track back. And that's exactly what Man United will do. Same thing.
We don't deserve to be in this top 4 race, to be honest. The amount of points we've dropped, and obviously Spurs losing tonight, it's kind of given me a little bit of hope. But I think United this season have been way off the pace, man. I don't think even making top 4 it seems like a struggle. Like, this team is awful. It's one of the it's a team with individual superstars, but it's a horrible team at best. I mean, you need a whole new defense, mate.
I hear you completely. Mo, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. I appreciate it, mate. Top, man. Thank you. Next on the show, I don't know who everybody supports, but I'm going to go to Winter Surfer, who is, of course, a rival fan. Chelsea fans here. What are you saying, mate?
It'll be too easy for me to laugh at Spurs because they do this all the time. I'm going to be serious about Spurs. I think this is a rot that's been set there for 20 plus years with how Spurs are run, how they perform. They get close or a little sustained period of what they call success and then take a staircase falling backwards and rebuild up again. I think it's simplistic. I think under confident, progressive owners, you would see a different change in this club. And until that happens, I think we're just going to have a rinse and repeat every season so far, and that's what we have been. I'm not under Poch. I'll give you Poch. Poch was a sustained period of some success,
but we didn't win anything.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said some sustained.
Also, the league was very unstable at that period. The league was not like now. The era of Poch leading Tottenham, the league was not like now. It didn't have Liverpool as of now. It didn't have Chelsea that strong. It was a season in, season out. For Leicester won it, Chelsea won it, then Man City won it, then Liverpool won it after. But now we have these power horse teams like City, Chelsea, Liverpool. They won't leave you a chance unless you become really, really good. They won't let you in. You have to become very good. Under Poch, they didn't win anything. Tottenham looked great.
Yeah.
But because nobody was that strong like now.
But Mo, that shows how badly we are run. Even with success under Pochettino, we did any investment for 595 days. No signings for 595 days. We did not strengthen that team because Daniel Levy just went, no, you're getting top 4, we're getting Champions League, we're getting money. Why do we need to invest? You guys are doing fine. There's no winning mentality.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys invested in managers. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys invested in managers.
We just changes managers over and over again.
Exactly. So that's was a wrong decision, right? Like getting Mourinho and then paying his money out, and then now Conte with this big contract for 18. That's the problem.
Do you know what I'd say though? We're going to go to some super chats and take some more calls in a minute. But what I say is a bigger mistake than the changing. It was typed when you went to Jose. The two things I said, there was one of this. One, I felt it was wrong in the sense of we've gone from a Poch style of football that's been coached and drilled into these players to Jose. It's chalk and cheese. However, if you go for a Jose, you give him exactly what he wants whenever he wants it. You keep him happy, and you may have a dangerous manager on your hands. So you didn't even treat Jose how Jose needed to be treated to make him successful. So it's like you spend all this money on managers, but you never really give any of them what they need. You even did it very minutely with Conte. You guys were a hair's breadth away from getting Luis Diaz, and you should have gone and got Adama Traore. You dilly-dallied, messed around, and got pipped to both of them. And those types of behaviors are the reasons why the Man Cities and Liverpools just continually got better from that 2015 period onwards. And the likes of Spurs, Man United, Arsenal have gone up, down, backwards, inside out, because the way the clubs are run aren't good enough. We've got some super chats here. I don't want to miss these. I've already done a few of them here. Where are we going at? Right. So love seeing Broja score against Tottenham. Lukaku out, Broja in. A good time for me whilst dealing with CV. Get well soon. Nathaniel, 3 points in the back. Come on, you Saints. I'm so happy with the win. My club, Southampton. Tottenham will forever be crap. Lamin here says bottling is in Spurs' DNA. It's the history. Come on, you irons, is what Lamin says. I'm in love with Nez N in the chat. Help me, Terry. If you're in love with him, DM each other, go on a date, knock yourselves out, boys. Or girl, or thems or theys, or whatever you identify as. It's completely up to you. Next on the show, Adam Jones is here. What are you saying, Adam? Who do you support?
The losing team, obviously.
So commiseration.
As you can tell by my face, I'm depressed. I just want to say though, like everybody who's been talking has been making some really good points. Even the guy who was laughing, the Arsenal guy, the Chelsea guy. You guys have been making some real good points. We all talk about this Spursy style of football, which unfortunately seems to be happening. But the truth is, how can it be Spursy style football? It's really down to the way the team is run. If you think about like United, Chelsea, etc., they spend the money to get the players in. They don't treat it as though they're scrimping and saving. Whereas it feels like Levy just keeps on scrimping and saving. He got rid of Moussa Dembele. Well, I don't know whether he got rid of him, but Moussa Dembele was a great player. Had he kept him, maybe we might have won the Champions League. Although it was a bit unfortunate on that time. Most of our good players, Jan Vertonghen, Alderweireld. If you look at I know that somebody else said about how all the other teams were crap during that time, which is probably true. But still, if that team was still here or some of those players were still here, you'd probably provide backup for, some of the other players that are in now. So, I don't know. I'm just so depressed by watching Spurs at the moment. I've grown up watching Spurs. There was a period of time where I've stopped watching football because Spurs were so mid-table. And ironically, a few days ago, I looked at the last few seasons, and up until Poch was there, we was like 10th, 9th, and that was the time I stopped watching Spurs. I started watching Spurs again just in hope, and I kind of feel like Conte is our last hope now. If he doesn't do anything and they don't back him and get the right players in, not these, I don't know. It's probably too early to say whether the two new players that I bought are no good, but I kind of feel like we'll keep buying all of these fringe players. You've got Patrician, who seems like he's just doing deals with people. I just feel like we're a bit of a mess. And Redknapp a few months ago, James Redknapp said that there was a YouTube, a WhatsApp video going around how we were saying we was a joke, and it's an effing mess. I think unfortunately we are, and what Spurs fan wants to say that about their own team? It's really, really bad, but yeah.
It's the history of our owners. Basically, we always underspend. So let's go. When Poch came in with the team we had, I think Kyle Walker and Danny Rose were already there for hardly any money. Dyer we bought in that season for hardly anything. Dele Alli was only 5 million. Christian Eriksen, we got a really good buyer, but as a youngster, so we didn't spend that much. Dembele came from Fulham, so it didn't cost that money, and Harry Kane came into the team. So when Poch came in, we kind of lucked into a good team at that point. If you look back over the 20 years that ENIC, Daniel Levy have been in charge of us, when have we ever spent 200, 250 million on a transfer window like the big boys? In recent years, we wanted Bruno Fernandes, we got Gedson Fernandes. We was close to getting Skriniar, we ended up with Joe Rodon. And it's just a continual thing with Spurs. It's what they always do. We always go after Luis Diaz, Kulusevski. Obviously, he's still young and learning, but he's not ready at this level when Luis Diaz is. So it's just one of them things. Spurs will never act like a top club in the transfer market until these owners are gone. Until these owners are gone.
Business though, aren't they? It seems like they're operating as a business by these cheap
That's
young
what they ever
players,
do.
make them look good and try and sell them on.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And as opposed to if you think about like the likes of City, they've got lots of money. The owner's probably thinking, well, we don't need to earn money. It's more about glory for us. And what glory do we have? That perhaps people of our generation knows. Nothing really. FA Cups maybe. When we were young, we used to talk about the FA Cups, but FA Cups mean not. They don't mean as much as they probably used to now.
Yeah.
So
do you know what, Adam? I think absolutely right, and it's one of these things. I talk about my club a lot, and Man United spend a lot of money. So some fans see that as, why are you moaning? And it's almost, yeah, but we waste our money on things. You've got Spurs who probably need to spend a little bit more. You get a lot of bang for your buck, but it's like, but then I remember speaking to my dad about this. I remember sitting down with my dad a few years back, and I said to him, maybe it's just the old-fashioned mentality of being a Spurs fan. And I'm not having a knock at my dad because he's my dad. But he said he'd rather than spend £200 million, and I can't remember, it was the summer of 2017, so you're still very good then. It was the year before you went into the Champions League final, so maybe it was 2018. And I was like, Dad, would you rather spend £200 million this summer on your squad or promote 2 or 3 new academy players? And he's like, oh, I'd rather promote 2 or 3 new academy players. It's more fun, it's exciting, it's how we are. And that mentality, I still think, is in the football club, where if you, and that's fine. In this modern day era, you're going to win very little. It isn't like my dad started supporting Spurs in the late 50s, early 60s. You could still win things through doing that because all teams are operating in that way. The money now being spent by lots of teams in the Prem, not just United and City and Liverpool and Chelsea, and across Europe, means if you are genuinely going to compete on a regular basis, you have to spend. Sometimes you can be quite lucky and develop a team like Poch did, which is on the edge of winning. But to maintain it, you spend money. Fergie's first team, he spent some money and he developed the class of 92 that came through the second time round. But then you have to spend money to maintain that because you're not going to keep getting youth products that are that good. And I've seen it at Tottenham. Ever since Gareth Bale, and I know he wasn't a youth academy project, but like every time there's a youngster that plays wide, he's going to be dynamite, this lad. And it's sort of like, but Townsend isn't. You know, Harry Kane came through and it's just been amazing. Harry Winks was coming through, and it was only 2 years ago. Spurs fans were telling me he's the English Iniesta. And is he that good though? Or should you go out and drop 50, 60 million pounds like on Declan Rice 2 years ago? That's you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing that Spurs need to do if they're ever going to compete, or they just need to be honest that they're never going to spend to win those things. Because I look at teams like Southampton and Brighton who are very happy with where they are because they're spending and behaving, and that's the maximum they're going to. The best they're ever going to be is about 7th or 8th, and I think they're content. I think with Tottenham, they kind of sell it to you that we're getting this stadium so we can compete with everybody, but then they don't do the things to compete with everybody. And maybe I'm wrong. Just from the outside looking at it, that's how it sort of looks. That
stadium was only ever set up as a money maker, basically. And I can only apologise for my fellow Spurs fans who decided to say Harry Winks is the next in the Iniesta. They should just look at themselves in the mirror and give themselves a slap. That's an embarrassing statement. So I can only apologise for that.
Yeah. No,
I mean, we compete, but we win nothing. You know, people say, if you want to make up a league and you need a few players in your league or, in your team, it's a bit like Spurs, isn't it? Spurs come in, then they compete and help you compete, but they don't win nothing. And it's a joke. It's really painful for us to say that. Who wants to say that about their own team?
But once again, it's just with poor recruitment. Just look at that. We just sent £110 million on loan, both 2 players, but cost us £110 million. They're on loan. And Dombele and Lo Celso, they are meant to be the next 2 big players here, and they are with just flops.
But I think maybe the style of football we've played hasn't really worked.
Poor recruitment,
is it?
Yeah, Adam, you're bang on, mate. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I think the style of football we played for in Ndombele, Lo Celso hasn't really given them the opportunity. If you've got, I really like Conte, and I'm really hopeful for Conte. Obviously, I didn't like him when he was at Chelsea, but I love him now that he's at Spurs. Typical Spurs fan. But I think, saying that Ndombele and Lo Celso are a waste, perhaps, time will tell. And maybe it's the Premier League. Maybe some players just can't play in the Premier League. We're the toughest league out there. But I do think also the style of football we were playing isn't the style of football they play. They play attacking. In the Poch team, they probably would have enjoyed it and probably would have done well.
It's not recruitment. Well, it isn't recruitment. Yeah. It's the This is what bad clubs do. I gave the example the other day. Bad clubs want to play pep football, but they hire Simeone and buy Klopp players.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. People keep telling me, no, top managers pick their players. Yeah, at clubs where all the philosophies fit. Pep and Klopp pick their players because their recruitment teams and their scouting teams are searching for players that suit the philosophy, and their philosophy matches what the club wants. It's a match made in heaven. Everybody is essentially singing off the same hymn sheet. Now, you still sign duds, but they're few and far between when you actually list them. The amount of duds Spurs, Arsenal, and Man United have signed in the last 5 years alone, is huge. Like Man United, I would say, have had more duds in the last 9 years than we had in Fergie 25. And that shouldn't be the case because, pound for pound, I think absolutely spot on there, Adam. You really are. Dan's here with us. Dan's another Spurs fan. What are you saying, mate?
Did you see what I put in the chat?
No.
Well, I have parental permission, so is it fine if I'm on here?
Okay, cool. If you've got parental permission, go for it. Oh, yeah, I've just seen that in the chat. I have. Yes, go for it.
Emerson Royale is atrocious. Honestly, all the fans that were saying we need to get Serge Aurier out, I honestly, at this moment in time, rather have Serge Aurier than Emerson Royale. He's that inconsistent. Like that last game where he was, everybody was singing his praises. It's because I'm telling you, this is not going to happen again. Emerson Royale, as you said, Tanganga, right wing back. That's interesting, but I think Tanganga's not that good at attacking. That's why I don't think he'd fit as a right wing back. I think he's better at a right back than a right wing back. But it'd be worth a try, honestly. Anything other than Emerson Royale or Matt Doherty. I'm not that desperate, but Harry Winks today, he wasn't as good as he's been under Conte for now, and it's just disappointing to see. Honestly, we've got Bentancur next season. We're getting Pep Matar. Hopefully we could see those two in the starting 11 over Højbjerg and Winks, that both played unbelievably bad today. Unbelievably bad. And on that left side, Sonny was not defending. Those 2 goals, it was the exact same carbon copy, exact same finish. That cross in from the right-hand side into the same exact spot. Emerson Royale should have headed it away, no doubt. But somebody has to be on James Ward-Prowse in those type of situations. It's not explainable. It is not explainable.
Great analysis there. I mean, in terms of moving forward, like where do you want to see Antonio Conte back so that he can improve the squad in terms of personnel and the mentality, mate?
Right wing back is my number 1 position right there. I honestly would really, really like for the club to buy Lamptey. There's also Spence from Nottingham Forest. Either one of those 2 would be world class. Midfield as well. We need a player in there. And a right winger. I know we've got Kuleveski now, but he's on loan, so it's a possibility that he might not be here by the end of the season. The club, honestly, before this game, I was very excited to watch Tottenham play football, which I haven't been in a very long time. But after a performance like that, it's that Spursy mentality that's finally come back. I just hate it.
I do. There is a few questions from people watching. Everyone's confused by your accent and they want to know where you're from. They say some are saying American, some are saying English. I'm saying I have no idea.
I'm American, but I spend a lot of time watching football, and I have developed a bit of an English accent. I don't know how.
That's amazing.
But,
you know what, though?
That's really good.
That's crazy. My daughter watches like this thing called Blippy. This guy called Blippy who plays.
He looks like Blippy.
Blippy, right? And she walks around the house and she can't, and I can't do an American accent. But yesterday she's like, Daddy, can I have a drink? I said, yes. She went, I got one out of the cupboard. She went, no, can you get me one out of the refrigerator? And she put the accent on. I'm like, what are you doing? And she said certain words with an American twang. It's so funny to see. Young man, thank you very much for coming on and having your say. And we'll speak to you again another time. Top man Dan, thank you. All the best. Very well. Listen, do you know what? When young lads, his mum did messages and say he had parental consent as well. When you get 14-year-olds that know more about football than you, it's embarrassing. I'm like, let's get him off quick. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, geez,
but what's sad is that poor little boy who's, got hope for Spurs. He's probably not going to see much because we haven't. So, that's what's really, really painful. I mean, look, really, after Conte, what else is there left for us?
Yeah. I want to ask him a question.
I feel like messaging his mum and saying, look, do you he's still young enough to change teams?
That's
change teams.
I want to know what made him choose Spurs.
Yeah, we
probably
can't.
historical. His father probably a lot older.
The States is mad though, right? I was chatting to a friend of mine over there. And they were at like one of those big Premier League events where like all fans turn up. People walk around with like Leicester City shirts on and Wolverhampton Wanderers hats. And the maddest thing, it's just like it makes I think as European football fans, I think for us that's just alien. Like I don't even like the idea of people wearing like other clubs' shirts from outside their leagues, and that freaks me out enough. But we're in 2 different Premier League pieces of gum.
It sounds like what Man City fans used to be before they support Man City.
Go on. Neil here says it doesn't matter if a team has a great manager as long as there's a poor mentality amongst the players, poor owners running the club. The team is going to fall over the long haul. I get you on that. We've got another caller here. Man, like I think it's Orchie's the name. What you saying, my friend?
Hello, mate. Good to talk to you all. Yeah, I think just thinking about it, like I know, like you can obviously criticize individual mistakes and stuff. I mean, I think Royale is definitely he's just awful. I agree with some of the people's comments about how they miss him, but I think like at this point, like midfield, I was kind of a bit sometimes even like really experienced managers like Conte surprised me because I was really surprised. Like I thought Bentancur, certainly the way he came on and what he did in the last game, I thought he would be a certain starter for tonight. So I was really surprised at that. And yeah, and I think like Royale is just awful. Like I know he's young and he's learning, but I don't know. I think it's so frustrating. Like, by the way,
got rid of Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yeah, like look, you know, he's another player, and yeah, he was doing brilliantly against us. So, like, it's just.
So you think if you replace Emerson Royal today, you win the game? Do you think that was the main problem in the game?
No, it's Conte's formation.
I think so. Yeah, I think sometimes, but then he's you know, I know he's been away from the Premier League for a few years, so maybe that's what it is. Like I don't know, but I always assume that top managers like that sort of still keep up with the Premier League, especially with what he's done.
But if you're playing like a pressing team like Southampton, right? You've got players like Sonny. Okay, you want to attack them because you want to, they're going to be pressing, they're going to be leaving loads of gaps, so you want to switch that play quickly. And I don't think having people like Højbjerg and Harry Winks, they're not creative. They're just they're just going to hold. They're going to stop you running through. Yeah. I used to really like Højbjerg, but I'm actually thinking now, what does he actually offer? Yeah. Winks, I started to like him a little bit more because he's playing more forward passing. But even then, he's not. They're not Ericsson. They're not Moussa Dembele. They're not. Perhaps Lo Celso and Ndombele. Maybe if they got more of a run.
I think this is the thing when I look at Tottenham. I think someone like Højbjerg is very good, but you need someone else, as you say, like an Eriksen. You need someone that's a creator that's going to do a good job. And suddenly you can just appreciate Højbjerg for what he's very good at doing. And that's kind of holding and breaking up play and feeding the ball into those people. It's almost, I see this at a lot of clubs because of what a particular player lacks. You then start looking at, you stop looking at what you need to buy, and I wish Joe Blogs could do X, Y, or Z. And the Emerson Royal thing's interesting. I think he looks awful, by the way. I think you should have stayed with Serge Aurier. But
£30 million.
This is the thing with coaching. Kyle Walker-Peters was not good enough for Tottenham, but every time I see him play in a Southampton shirt, it looks tidy. He looks comfortable. He looks well drilled. That has to have something to do with, again, consistency of coaching, a style of play that's drilled into somebody, and that's what's going to take Conte time. Everyone who's tuned in, phoned in, super chatted, a massive thank you to all of you. Please smash the like button before you leave. We're back tomorrow with more content. We're in the studio for watch-alongs tomorrow for both the Liverpool and the Arsenal games on our Twitch account. So make sure you're following Twitch. We're live from about 6:30 on that. Live match reaction as well. And then on Friday, I'll fly to the Emerald Isle to go pick up the Prince. Archie's back in England, which should be fun. His sister's been bothering me all week. When's he coming? When are you going to get him? Friday, he's back. Anyway, less of my family stories. Until next time, take care. Goodbye.